Hi, welcome back for today's recap. Today, we will give you a quick recap of Familiar, the 8th episode of the 11th season of the series titled, The X-Files. Two FBI special agents who work on paranormal cases called the X-Files went to Connecticut to help in the investigation of a little boy's death. The case was ruled to be an animal attack, but with the help of the FBI special agents, they started unraveling the dark secret behind the brutal animal attack. In Eastwood, Connecticut, a young boy named Andrew was seen playing in the park's roundabout with his doll called Chuckle Teeth. He was also singing a song about the Chuckle Teeth doll while his mother, Diane, slowly spun the roundabout for him. There was another mother named Anna sitting on the bench nearby while her daughter, Emily, played on the swing. Diane then received a call from a man who seemed to be harassing her. Meanwhile, Andrew looked into the forest and saw Mr. Chuckle Teeth looking at him from behind a tree. He told his mother about Mr. Chuckle Teeth, but Diane was too busy on the call to notice that her son had been trying to get her attention. Diane ended the call and turned back to her son, only to find out that he was gone. Andrew has gone into the forest to search for Mr. Chuckle Teeth. Mr. Chuckle Teeth peeked from behind a tree and walked away, compelling Andrew to follow him. Something was lurking behind Andrew. The boy turned around when he heard the rustles behind him and let out a gasp of fear. The night came, and everyone was still looking for Andrew. Andrew's father, Officer Eggers, was among the cops that were looking for Andrew. Officer Wentworth strayed a little from the group, and that's when he saw the broken Mr. Chuckle Teeth doll. He followed where the broken doll was leading, and there he found little Andrew's dead body. He blew the whistle, followed by a distraught Rick Eggers, who screamed in agony when he saw his dead son. Two FBI special agents, Fox Mulder and Dana Scully, who worked on unsolved paranormal cases, went to Eastwood, Connecticut, to help in the investigation since the FBI has authority over a case in which the immediate family of a law enforcement officer was murdered. The Connecticut officers were confused as they ruled the case an animal attack, but here is the FBI insinuating that there are still possibilities that Andrew got murdered. Scully explained that Andrew's broken neck supports indicate that someone must have murdered him, and the bite marks seen on his body might have been post-mortem animal predation, which means that an animal might have fed on Andrew's body after his death. Chief Strong told the FBI agents not to make assumptions, but Mulder rebuked her, saying that Scully is a medical doctor and knows what she's talking about. Scully then further explained that if it was murder, then they'd be looking at a male aged 19 to 42 with a criminal record who knew Andrew's play schedule at the park and knew when to attack. After their talk with the Connecticut officers, Mulder and Scully talked as they walked. They were talking about the kind of animal that might have attacked Andrew if it was really an animal attack. Mulder then stated that he was thinking of a hellhound, a large black dog that guards the gates of the underworld. Mulder then explained the strange things he learned that happened around Eastwood. In 1658, a Puritan midwife named Goody Bishop was accused of witchcraft and being in a relationship with the devil. Scully didn't believe it, but Mulder insisted that he still suspects that there are black arts practitioners in Eastwood, Connecticut. Moments later, Scully and Mulder are now in the morgue, where Andrew's corpse is. They were to examine Andrew's body to determine the cause of his death. Scully admitted that he was suspicious of Rick and thought he may have something to do with Andrew's death. Mulder then noticed something on Andrew's feet. He rubbed it off Andrew's feet, and the two FBI agents guessed that it might either be fine white sand or salt. Mulder checked the report and saw the picture of Andrew's Chuckle Teeth doll, making the two FBI agents wonder what the significance of the doll would be in Andrew's death. Mulder then noticed in the report that an eyewitness wasn't interviewed. The eyewitness was Emily, who was also in the park with her mother Anna, and Emily's father is none other than Chief Strong, which seemed odd for Mulder. So Mulder decided to visit Emily and Anna at their home after the funeral so he could interview Emily. After the funeral, as everyone was going around sharing their condolences, Rick approached Officer Wentworth to ask why the FBI agents weren't releasing Andrew's body. Officer Wentworth answered that the FBI agents were saying that it wasn't an animal attack and could still be ruled murder. Meanwhile, Anna was asking her husband, Chief Strong, why the FBI agents wanted to talk to Emily, and for some reason, Chief Strong was getting agitated. At the Strong family's home, Mulder was asking Emily questions, but the little girl only said that she saw Andrew going to the forest. Emily was watching a show about creatures called Bibbletiggles, and she's a kid, so she was distracted easily. Anna let Emily watch the show and opened up to Mulder about how scared she was when Andrew disappeared, as it could have easily been her own daughter. Anna excused herself for a while, and Mulder decided to look around. He saw a family picture of the Strong family and a book called The Grimoire of the Eastwood Witch. Seeing him look at the book, Anna told Mulder that Chief Strong is actually quite addicted to local history about witch trials. Mulder then decided to leave, but just as he was about to leave, Emily called for her mother's attention. Emily then pointed at the TV, which was now showing Mr. Chuckleteeth, and stated that he was in the forest. On the other hand, Scully went to Chief Strong to tell him that she thinks Rick Eggers may have been the one to kill his son. Chief Strong disagreed, and Scully still wanted to question Rick, saying that they could only confirm whether Rick really was the killer or not once they confronted him. It was because suspects tend to become violent toward themselves when confronted. Chief Strong then informed Scully that Officer Eggers was working his shift when Andrew was attacked. Scully asked if they were working together or if Eggers was working his shift alone, so they decided to ask Eggers himself. But when they looked for him, they saw him rushing towards somewhere with the police car's siren blaring. Moments before that, Rick was seen researching for any registered sex offender in Eastwood, Connecticut, and his research resulted in a guy named Peter who was convicted of sexual assault of a minor. Rick concluded that Peter was the one who killed his son and rushed to get to Peter's house with Scully and Chief Strong tailing behind him, telling Rick to pull over through the radio. They arrived at Peter's house, and Chief Strong tried to calm down a very agitated Rick. Rick calmed down and told them that he had found the person Scully was talking about. Scully called Mulder, who was at the crime scene, to tell him about this development, and Mulder just told her to tell him where they were as he stared at a large black dog observing him from afar. The large black dog walked away, and Mulder went to Peter's address. When he arrived, Scully briefed him on what happened, but Mulder still wasn't convinced that Peter was the one who killed Andrew. They searched Peter's house and saw a monkey in a cage. That's where they also found a strange pair of shoes and the Mr. Chuckleteeth doll head. Later on, Scully was confused as to why Mulder was defending Peter, who was a convicted pedophile. Mulder explained that he wasn't defending Peter but rather not believing that Peter was the suspect based on rushed judgment. Concurrently, Emily was still watching the Bibbletiggles show while Anna was preparing their lunch. Emily heard a giggle somewhere in the house and turned to look where it was coming from, only to see one of the Bibbletiggles staring at her through the door. Emily smiled as she stared back at Bibbletiggles. Anna has been calling Emily for lunch, but the girl still isn't answering. She turned to look at Emily and was immediately engulfed in fear when she realized that her daughter wasn't there anymore. Emily was found dead in the forest with signs of predation similar to Andrew's. The sight of Emily's dead body put off Mulder, who had just talked to the girl earlier that morning. A distressed Anna arrived a while later, screaming and crying as she blamed her husband for their daughter's death. Officer Wentworth escorted Anna away from the scene to calm her down, and Mulder approached a spot on the ground where there was salt. Mulder started kicking away the dead leaves and saw more salt spread all over the ground. Mulder concluded that it was a magic circle that summons spirits and demons, in which salt is used to protect the caster from the demons unleashed. Mulder explained that in the 16th and 17th centuries, witches used to conjure spirits called familiars. Familiars usually take the form of animals, but sometimes, they can take the form of a human too. They can disguise themselves as someone the victim either trusted or desired to see, maybe someone they know or a TV character they like. Mulder then kicked away the leaves on a spot, revealing a symbol of a skull. It was a Puritan graveyard, a place where spirits and demons had been summoned or unleashed. Mulder approached Chief Strong, whom he knew by now had tried to divert their attention from the reality of the case. Chief Strong knew all along that someone had been practicing witchcraft which resulted in Andrew getting murdered. But instead of telling the truth in the first place, Chief Strong decided to lie to cover up his own wrongdoings. Chief Strong was in conflict with himself, but realizing that his selfishness cost him his daughter's life, he finally relented and confessed his sins. Chief Strong admitted to committing a sin, but he wasn't involved in the witchcraft, and he certainly wasn't the reason why Andrew and Emily died. Chief Strong confessed that he's an adulterer and has been harassing Diane, who had been trying to avoid him. It was then revealed that the man who called Diane before Andrew died was actually Chief Strong. Chief Strong walked away in guilt, and the other officers followed to comfort him. Mulder then told Diane that someone must have put a curse on the town and opened the gates of hell. As Mulder and Scully were talking, the officers received a report about Officer Eggers beating up Peter. They rushed to Peter's address and tried to stop Rick and the civilians from killing Peter. Mulder fired his gun into the air, and Scully threatened to arrest everyone for attempted murder, as Peter looked really beaten up already. Rick seemed to calm down for a bit, but when everyone's focus wasn't on him anymore, he quickly pulled out his gun and shot Peter in the head. Due to what he did, he was sent to court for a trial. Mulder and Scully, who were there, were whispering amongst each other. Mulder stated that the trial only had two endings, and both were injustices. The first injustice is the death of an innocent man, and the second is the release of a guilty officer who killed the said innocent man. Mulder was so sure that the case was a witch hunt, and whoever is responsible is in the same room as them. He told Scully that he saw a hellhound, but it wasn't the one unleashing hell on the city, it was just watching the opened gates of hell. Mulder and Scully's attention was taken away by the judge's announcement of his decision. Due to Rick's exemplary record, it was determined that Rick is not a flight risk and would be able to be bailed out at $5,000. After the court, Scully and Mulder approached Officer Wentworth, who was waiting for them outside the court. It turns out that Officer Wentworth didn't attend the proceedings to do some digging. Officer Wentworth discovered that Andrew was 40 miles away from Eastwood, Connecticut, during the murder of Andrew, so it was impossible for Peter to be the murderer. Officer Wentworth decided to tell this to the two FBI agents because he couldn't trust the officers in Connecticut anymore, and Chief Strong seemed to be gradually losing his mind after Emily's death. Meanwhile, Rick confronted Diane for sleeping with Chief Strong and letting their son leave her sight, which resulted in his death. Upset, Diane left Rick alone and drove away. As she was driving through the dark road, she suddenly saw Andrew standing in the middle of the road. Diane swerved the car to avoid hitting Andrew, and the car ended up flipping. Concurrently, Rick was on a mission to hunt down Chief Strong. He barged into the Strongs' home, but there was nobody there. Instead, he heard the sound of the TV playing the Mr. Chuckleteeth song. He went to the living room but then saw Mr. Chuckleteeth standing by the end of the hallway. He approached Mr. Chuckleteeth, but the latter disappeared. This went on for a while, with Rick going to where Mr. Chuckleteeth was and the latter disappearing everywhere. Suddenly, the TV opened and started playing again. Rick watched the video, and when he turned around, he was caught off guard by the sight of Mr. Chuckleteeth. He tried to chase Mr. Chuckleteeth again, but Chief Strong arrived and a gun was fired. Moments later, Mulder and Scully arrived at Chief Strong's home and found Rick dead. Scully then noticed that there was salt circling around the house. Mulder searched the house and discovered that the grimoire was missing. Mulder and Scully then decided to go back to the crime scene where the children died. On the other hand, Chief Strong was looking for Diane when he saw Diane's wrecked car by the side of the road. He looked into the forest and saw Diane standing there. When Diane walked away, Chief Strong immediately followed. He was so busy looking for Diane that he didn't even see the real Diane's dead body on the ground. He went further into the forest, and that's where he found Anna standing in the middle of the magic circle, chanting a grimoire. All this time, Anna was actually the one who had been practicing witchcraft and was responsible for the deaths of Andrew and Emily. Anna admitted that she only wanted to curse Diane and Strong for what they were doing behind her back. She never thought that Andrew and Emily would get involved. Now, Anna is trying to end what she started. Strong was then attacked by the large black dog. Anna screamed as she watched her husband get mauled by the hellhound. Then Scully and Mulder arrived to see Anna standing in the middle of the magic circle and a dead Strong just outside of it. Mulder tried to talk Anna out of reading the book, but Anna didn't listen, as the only way for this madness to end was for her to end it herself. She finished chanting the grimoire, and flames burst out from underneath her, burning her. Just like that, the gates of hell were finally closed. Police surrounded the area. The grimoire, which somehow didn't burn, was then handed to Officer Wentworth by Scully as evidence. Scully approached Mulder, finally believing everything that Mulder had been telling her all this time. The two of them stepped into the vehicle and drove away, ready to finally leave Eastwood, Connecticut. As Scully and Mulder drove away from the scene, the park's roundabout was seen spinning by itself.